This is Luana Dametto, the drummer for Crypta, and you're watching RichardMetalFan.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Richard Metal Fan Interviews. This is episode number 13, and today we're going to be talking to Luana Dametto. She is the drummer for new death metal band Crypta from Brazil. They're going to be releasing their debut album, Echoes of the Soul, tomorrow under Napalm Records, and today we're going to be talking to her about the debut album, as well as like her approach to drumming, favorite death metal albums, and much more. So without further ado, let's go talk to Luana. All right, so I am here with Luana Dametto, drummer for new death metal band Crypta. Luana, how are you doing today?
Doing okay. Doing well, I would say.
It's so awesome to have you here. So we're going to be talking about the new debut full-length album from Crypta, Echoes of the Soul, which comes out tomorrow. Now, being with the first three singles that you released, From the Ashes, Starvation, and Dark Night of the Soul, was there like some sort like a is that like the what the rest how the whole album will sound like, or do you think it's just scratching the surface, so to speak?
I think with the three songs we released, people can have a much better idea of how the entire thing will sound like. But I think there's still some things to be found out when people listen to the entire album by itself. I think we showed a lot of our melodic part in From the Ashes, showed more of a straightforward death metal with Starvation, and now some melody again with Dark Night of the Soul, but there's still some like very groovy and slow songs through the album. So yeah, it's kind of diverse a little.
Yeah, yeah. I remember hearing the first few songs. The way I would describe, or from the few songs we had heard, is if you mixed with Tomb of the Mutilated with Sorrow of the Soul with like sort of like symbolic or sound of perseverance by death, and I also had a little bit of like early Sepultura in there.
Well, sorry, I'm sleepy today. Though those are really good references. Yeah, we definitely took a lot of influences from many different genres too. Like the main idea was to make old school death metal, which ended up not happening because we have lots of different influences. And while we were writing, we found out that everyone was putting a little of everything in the songs. Like there's a little black metal, it's a little melodic that goes to the heavy metal side sometimes, and some thrash metal too. So yeah, it's definitely not just old school death metal. It's just old school in the way we recorded the album. That sounds very raw and very live, very true to what we played. But except for that, I think our compositions are very diverse and mixed.
All right, so there wasn't like a preconceived idea for what Echoes of the Soul will sound like there wasn't like any like experimentation or like trial and error.
We thought that it would be old school death metal, but while we were doing the album, we realized it wasn't anymore. It didn't work like that. So it didn't work for us to have an idea and go for it because we have too many influences and want to put too much of everything. So it's just it is what it is. I would say it's kind of crazy, but it worked out in the end.
All right, and so like does having like different styles ha, kind of like have like and different inspirations in a way? I guessing like do all of y'all listen to like different stuff?
Yeah, Sonia came from a heavy metal band, and Taina came from a folk metal band, and me and Fernanda were playing thrash metal before, so it's kind of hard to not let this background of ours and our influences to interfere on Crypta. We would like to do something more like uh, how can I say, more specific, but
Yeah.
because of our background, I would say it just doesn't work, and it's fine. It's our own. I would say our characteristic and personality is just to uh, mix everything that we like in our music.
Yeah, I honestly do consider like Crypta to be kind of like a super group, being like you and Fernanda coming from Nervosa and Sonia from Burning Witches but does like playing in different bands sort of like influence the sound of Echoes of the Soul in a way, or do you all wanted to like try new ideas?
It our background influenced a lot in the compositions, and we'll keep trying new ideas in the future. We'll never like stop and try to focus too much in one thing. We'll just put whatever comes in mind. Maybe even if it's not death metal or anything, but if we think that it fits with the music and makes us happy, and for the end result, it's fine to put that in the music too.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty awesome. So I guessing, are you? The next question I want to ask is, are you in like a different mind frame as to opposed to when you were in Nervosa, or is there like a different like game plan or like different like set of mind when you played with different other styles?
I think I didn't understand the question. Sorry, my English sometimes.
It's all good. But so are you like you take like a different state of mind or different approach to how you play as opposed to when you play in Nervosa to now in Crypta, or is there just like a usual like game plan?
Uh, how can I answer this one? I don't know. I always played very much what came in my mind when we're writing stuff. What I feel that should be put in there and what fits, I just do it. The mindset in all bands is always to get better, comparing to my previous works. For example, when I recorded Downfall of Mankind for Nervosa, that was pretty much all I could play, I would say. That was my limit. It was difficult to record some stuff too in the studio because it was pretty much everything I could do. And now with Crypta, it's the same. Echoes of the Soul was pretty much the new things that I learned in drums. And for the next one, I'm sure it's gonna be different musically because of that. The mindset is always getting better and taking the time to practice new stuff so the albums can be progressing with us as musicians too.
Yeah, awesome. So as a drummer, do you usually like to lay down the beat and the rhythm and then the band would write over that? Or has there ever been a situation where you need to hear music in order to come up with drum parts?
It's a little of everything, I would say. Sometimes, most of the times, I would say the girls send riffs to me, and I take those riffs and I try to put some drum lines on top of it. Sometimes they change the riff based on the drum line that I added to. Sometimes, it's not very doesn't match very well, but then we can change a little here and there, and it gets really different. And sometimes I have drum ideas of things that, for example, I just learned this new feel and I think it's really cool, and this double bass pattern. So I would like you girls to put something on top of this so I don't change my drum line that I just created here. So yeah, it's a little of everything. Who has the best idea just sends it on a drive, and the others try to put something on top of it, and then we go and polish it to the point that everyone is satisfied with what we have.
Awesome. Okay, so I got two more questions for you. Yeah, you ready for the hardest question?
I guess so.
All right. How do you know when a song is done?
That's a very difficult question because if we never had to like have a schedule or a date to record, I think we would just go on and go on and never finish anything because we like very much like after we make the song, we take the song again to polish it and to change the riff that we feel like we didn't really like, that it's more like a riff that it's just feeling the song we like at the end, and change the drum lines that I feel like is just not very interesting, and put something that I think it matches the vibe a little better. So uh, I I don't know if we know when it's done, but I know that we have a time to record things and to be done with the promo things. So we kind of need to hurry sometimes and be like, okay, we have been changing things in these songs for like the third time. I think it's okay to say that we're done with this one, otherwise we're gonna get late. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And the final question I want to ask is, I always thought Brazil had a great like metal scene with like, of course, you with Nervosa, but now with Crypta, and then the old school bands like Crisian and Sepultura. Was there like a scene in Brazil that you felt a part of, or was the goal to like, is the goal to be to play outside of Brazil and try to get the name out there?
uh there is many bands doing this nowadays in Brazil. I would say many bands that are traveling out of Brazil, and yeah, they're catching the attention of the public out of Brazil, and there are more like underground bands. Mainly a band from friends of mine called Nervo Chaos. They have traveled pretty much everywhere, more than 10 times each place that they have been. So yeah, I don't know if I understood the question very well, but yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. So before we go, I just wanted to thank you for this interview. It's just anything else you would like to promote for Crypta with Echoes of the Soul? I mean, obviously, thanks to this certain virus that I refuse to name on this channel, touring's not happening at the moment. But once this is all set aside, we could see you out on the road a bit. Is there maybe a chance Crypta will come and tour in the US eventually once this bullshit pandemic is over? I would love to see Crypta rock in Atlanta.
We have plans to go to the US, many plans actually. There's many things being booked and some being just planned. We don't know for sure if it's gonna confirm because of the virus, of course, but there's definitely plans to go to the US, lots of plans. And yeah, I guess I would just say that people can go tomorrow and listen to our entire thing on Spotify or whatever streaming platform that they have, and judge for themselves the album, and see if they like it or not. It's fine anyways. And if you want to follow the band and see the next steps that we will be taking with this album, you can follow us on social media. It's called Crypta Death everywhere. My own social medias are Luana Dametto, and yeah, that's all I think.
Awesome. So everyone, Luana from Crypta, everyone, make sure you check out the new album, Echoes of the Soul, the debut full-length album from Crypta coming out tomorrow under Napalm Records. This is Richard Metal Fan, and we'll see you next time.